Hey everyone, welcome to this lesson where we're finally going to be putting everything together by creating our homepage, which is essentially the ultimate hub page. It's the page where you can send people to every part of your website. So I'm going to show you how to do that. And I'm going to be talking a little bit as well about setting up the theme for your homepage by putting keywords in there, etc. So what I'm going to do, I actually built the homepage already on the main site, but we're going to be rebuilding it together. But first, I'm going to go ahead and give you a bit of a breakdown of what makes the homepage good and what elements there should be on your homepage. And after that, we're going to go on Elementor and build it together. So let's jump on the computer and I'll show you how to do that. All right, so as I told you in the intro, the homepage is already built, but I'm going to be rebuilding it. But first, I want to take some time to break down what we put on the homepage and why we put things on the homepage. And we're going to be rebuilding this exact homepage step by step. So I'll show you exactly how to do that with Elementor. So what is on this homepage? The first section that we have is essentially a hero section. And the hero section is here to say what the site is about. In this case, your dog food and nutrition center, because we are a dog food website. And we have a bit of a tagline that just, makes people feel good. Your best friend deserves the best nutrition, and we're here to make sure he gets it. And this is just a call to action. If we were building an email list here, I would put an opt-in for my email list. But in this case, this just links to our dog food guide. So like the main hub page for dog food. This is pretty simple. And then below what we have is essentially our first layer of navigation, because home pages are very much navigation pages. And they should not only help people visit around your website, but they should also link to important pages on your site, because your homepage is the page that receives the most link on your domain. And so if you link directly to a lot of places on your website, they will tend to rank higher because of that proper internal linking from your homepage, which is why the second section we have here is essentially a link to all the hubs that we have. So dog food by breed, health issues, ingredients, brands, comparisons. And if you click here, you essentially land on one of these hub pages. So people can pick a breed, for example, and then they land on a buying guide. So it's pretty simple for people to navigate through, and for Google as well, right? One thing that I would change is if we, and when we actually get featured on high quality sites, recognized sites like Huffington Post, things like that, etc. I would probably add a section here that just puts the logos of all the places where we've been featured to just increase the sense of authority for the website, etc. But in this case, we don't have it yet, so we don't have it. And then I link to my hubs. Then the next section I like to do is essentially explaining who we are, what we do, and essentially give an introduction to the About page that you will find here. Like you see, we have a button, and if people click here, they land on the About page that we built earlier together. So in this case, it just says, Gael is the founder of Dog Food Heaven. His aim, go through the jargon and make the right decision for your dog food, etc., etc. So that's basically a very short introduction, a photo of me in that case, but obviously depending on who is the face of your website. And just because your homepage is going to be very often the second page that people visit, right? So people will land maybe on an article, maybe they Google best dog food for boxers, right? And then they land on our site and they read it and they're like, who the hell are these Dog Food Heaven guys? So they might either visit the About page or the homepage, right? They click on your logo and they check, oh, what is this site about? And this essentially answers that question, who are these guys? And then people can dig deeper through your About page if they want to. And that's what this does. This is also very useful when you reach out for links. People will check your homepage quite often. And so being able to, show who you are and not hide that is a big deal, actually. So that's why we have this section. And after that, I essentially have a section where we have our latest info post. So you see I have a very basic post grid here with our dog omnivores, dog food allergies, how to help a dog lose weight, etc. And you click on these, and then this links to my info guides, and then my all my info content basically. Another thing I did is I actually linked these, so you can see latest dog nutrition tips actually links to our dog nutrition guides, so that if you can have all these internal links on your homepage, and essentially it's a page where you choose your own adventure and you go wherever you want. So now let's show you how to build this page. So I have created another page that I called Home Demo on my site, but we have created the homepage earlier. So go and open that homepage on your from your pages, and you click on the Edit with Elementor button, which is going to be opening the Elementor button, which we have not used a lot so far to create pages. Now the problem is it pulled my page template that we built together earlier, and so I have home, I have some breadcrumbs, I have all of that, and I don't want that on my homepage. I have none of that here. So the way to remove this is actually to click on the cog here change the page layout to Elementor full width. And then the page reloads, and essentially it doesn't show anything, just you keep your header, you keep your footer, but everything in between is gone. That's exactly what we want here, so that we can actually just, build a nice homepage. So the first section that we had, remember, was the hero section. So how do we do that? We actually click on the plus sign here, and it's going to be a single column area. And we're gonna make it a bit bigger because there's really not much height here. So we're gonna put a minimum height, and I'll put maybe 450, something like this. And what we want is we want to put our cute photo of puppies. I found it on Canva here. So what I did is I actually went on canva.com. Then I created the design and I picked a Facebook cover, if I remember. These are like really wide cover for pages, etc. You can see. And here I search for dog eating, if I remember. And hopefully I can find it, but you can find a similar photo or whatever photo you want here, and you can just drag it and then just match it here. And I just downloaded it, right? I downloaded it and I uploaded it in my media library, and I went in style, background, and here I picked my image and I inserted my media, and you can see I have my photo, but it doesn't look the same here, right? You can see that it looks like darker, and it doesn't repeat. You can see like here it repeats and break, etc. And we just need to change a few options here. So first of all, you can change where the image is. So for example, you can put center right or something like this. The most important one is to not repeat and change the size to cover. Once you have that, then you can play with your positioning. So like top left, bottom center, maybe bottom right. I think this is okay actually the way we are. But if I put some text on top of here, so if I put my heading, like your dog food nutrition center, then I style it to be white like it was before. I put usually some shadow so it's a bit more visible, but still not so great, right? Still doesn't look so good. And the difference is for photos to work well as background, you need to kind of like darken them a bit or put some kind of filter that makes them a little bit colored or something. So we're gonna do that now. So I'm going to select my section and I'm going to go into background overlay, and then I'm going to select background type, and here you can pick a color. I tend to pick my black, and you can see my photo is darkened already quite a bit, but you don't need to darken it as much. You can change this transparency here, so we can play a bit with this, not so bad. And then this is a lot more visible. I'm going to make this an H1, so it's a little bit more visible. Then I'm going to be putting just a paragraph below, so I'm going to be putting a heading, but I'm going to change it to paragraph. And here I'm going to be putting my tagline. In this case, it's like your best friend deserves the best nutrition, and we're here to make sure he gets it. So I'm going to center that under and style it in white. And again, I like to put text shadow. Look at the difference. Yeah, it's a little bit more readable now. And below that, we had a button that links to our dog food hub page. So I'm going to grab a button from Elementor, put it below, center it, make it a bigger button, maybe large button or something, or maybe medium, and I will say read our dog food guides. And I had an icon. If you haven't seen, remember there's a little magnifier icon. So I'm going to search for in the icon library for magnifier. In this case, maybe search. Yeah, search is the one, not magnifier. I'm going to insert it, and you can put some spacing if you want. So like it's a little bit close now, but I could do a bit like this maybe. And I think that's pretty good. And then you put a link on your button. So you see we have no link. You can just grab it from your menu, right? So you can just do that. And then I'm going to be copying my link address, click back on my button, paste, here we go. And we essentially have our hero section here. It looks very similar to what I have built before. Then after that, we need to build a section with a header and a divider. So I'm going to add a new section, and I'm going to pick a single column again, and I'm going to add an H2 here, and best dog food by. And below that, I had a divider. This is kind of a design element. You don't have to put a divider, but I'm just going to show you exactly how I built it, and then you can do something similar if you want, or you can do something a bit different. The thing is, these two are quite close, so the way you can actually reduce that, because there's this space in between, it's actually set on the column level. You see I have a widget space 20, but if I put 0, you can see actually these get a little bit closer. And what I can do is I can put a bit more space between my header and the whole section really and the hero column by selecting the whole section and adding some margins. Maybe I'm gonna add 20 margin, something like this. That looks okay. And below that, essentially I made 5 columns, sorry, with 5 images, and then just some text below. So we're gonna do that. I'm going to pick an inner section here, put it below, and we're just gonna build our first column here. You will see why. So I'm going to be putting an image. And here, again, I just made a Instagram post. I'm not gonna do it on Canva, but I made an Instagram post, so it's squared. And I just put a photo, and if you want, apply some effects. And I'm going to pick the first one, which is breeds, with all these cute dogs next to each other. So that's the one. You can see I made my little square image. And it's quite big right now. Don't worry, it's fine. But what we had is we had a bit of a border to add some branding. So let's add the border. So I'm going to go in style and then solid. And then width, we're going to go a little bit wider, maybe 5, 6. 6 is good. And I'm going to change my color to my primary blue. And then below that, I will put a heading. And I'll make it an H3. And we have breeds in this case. So let's write breeds and center it. Now, you're going to tell me, you're supposed to put 5, and this is massive. Why are you doing this? You'll see. But first, I want to do one thing, which I want to add some padding so that the image is a little bit smaller in the center of the column. So I'm going to select my column, and I'm going to add some padding, maybe click, like put 20, and that's basically it. I'm going to even delete this column, so I just have my one column left. And now what I can do, now that I've done all my styling, is I can duplicate my column. And look at what's happening when I duplicate it. We essentially now have 5 columns with all our effects, and I just need to change the images and the text. However, I think the padding is a little bit too much. So let me show you how to change the padding, the styling really quick. Let's say I put 10 instead. Yeah, or even 15, something like that. 15 is good. So let's say I like 15, but now I need to change all my columns, right? So I can right click my column and say copy. And on the other columns, I'll just paste style. And you can see I can do even Command Shift V on Mac. So if I do that, Command Shift V, I just pasted my style basically. Or you can just click the button in this case, and you can see everything's just matching the style again. So we are good here. Now the one thing that I did on my live site is I actually made these kind of grow when you hover them. So let me show you that effect so you can know, so you know how to use it in the future. So I'm going to select my image, and then in style, you go in hover, and then hover animation. In this case, I picked grow. And now when I hover my image, it does this kind of like cool effect. So again, I could just paste my style here. See how quick this is on Elementor? This is great, right? And now all my images have that effect. And now all I need to do is change my images. So let me just do this off camera because it's a bit boring. And now I'm just changing all my labels. So you can see health issues, then ingredients. And finally, I just need to link everything. I think I will make this a little bit smaller though. So let me just change the typography. If you want to change the typography of any of these, just select it and change the size of it. Maybe this is better. So hop, let's paste the style. I'm just going to show you everything I do on this homepage, guys, so you can see all these stuff you can do with Elementor pages. Feel free to do that on any page on your domain, by the way. I'm just showing you on the homepage, but all these effects and everything is available on every page if you edit it with Elementor. But now that we've actually prepared that section, all I need to do is from my menu, I'm just gonna grab my links. So breeds, I can click on my image, content, and then link. You can change it to custom URL and then put it here. Same with breeds. I'm going to be linking this so you can see I have it selected. And then here I can put a link as well. And then I'm gonna do that for all of them. So let me just cut the video so it's not too boring for you. All right, now I've copied and pasted my last URL. So now it's time to jump on the next section, which is going to be the about us, who we are. So let's see how we can make this kind of colored section with photos and everything, and this kind of ghost button as well, which looks quite different from this one. So let's go ahead. What we're going to do is we're going to add a new section here, and I'm going to be picking a structure where there's like a narrow column on the left and then a wide column on the right. So it matches that thing where I can put my photo and I can put the text, right? So let's go ahead and select this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by putting my photo on the left. So I'm dragging an image and I'm selecting my photo here that I uploaded already. And here we go. But I want my blue background. So how do I do that? I select my section and I go in Style, Background Type. And here I'm going to be picking blue. And you can see now I have a nice blue background. But you can see how this photo is taking all the space, whereas here I put quite a bit of spacing around. So we're going to be using our margins again and our padding. So I'm going to select the column where the photo is. And I'm going to put some padding, let's say 20 or even more. 30 in this case, maybe. I think this is nice. And we are going to start adding our text. So we have a heading, we have some text below, and we have a button. So I'm going to be putting all the elements that I need, and we're going to be looking at this. And again, to match the padding that I have here, I'm going to do the same on the right. So I'm going to be selecting that column and put a 30 padding so that everything aligns quite nicely. Now my heading was just who we are, so I'm just going to change that, who we are. And the text, I'm going to let you write it. It's basically a short version of your about page, so check out what you put on your about page when in your first section, like why you do this site. And essentially just do that. Yeah, I don't know why there's a bit of a bug here, it's okay. Let me just put the little dog emoji back. So I've been putting that, and now I'm going to be changing the style of these to be white. So I'm going to be selecting the text, go in Style, Text Color, White, same for my header. And now I want to style my button, so I get one of these cool transparent buttons, because it's not really a main call to action. I make no money when people go on About Us. I'd rather they go on these and actually read my guides. So I make this a little bit less visible. So I'm going to pick my button here, and I'm going to go in Style. And here what we can do is we can pick a background color, and you can either pick the primary blue in this case, or you could just make it fully transparent. And the same thing is going to happen, but if you change your background color, at least it's not going to change. And then after that, we're going to be adding a border. So I'm going to put a solid border, and I'm going to make it maybe 2 pixels. I think this is nice. And I'm going to just change my text, learn more about us. And I'm going to add my link to my About page. I can once again grab it from my menu. It's pretty quick and easy. So I'm going to copy my link address, select my button, put my link. You can see I have a bit of a problem though. It gets completely invisible when I hover my button. So let's just fix that. I'm going to go in Style, hover, and then what I want is I want basically nothing to happen. So I want my text color to be white. I want my background color to stay transparent, and I want my border color to be still white. And see now when I hover with my mouse, it's just a normal button without any kind of animation. So that's how you make your little section. Now, if you want to add some more space in between these, you can also select the whole section and add some margin on top and the bottom, maybe like 20 or 30. Yeah, so we have a bit more spacing on our homepage. And finally, the last section was the latest nutrition tips. So we want to put the latest posts that we have, so I'm going to be doing that. The thing that you can do is, because we've already built this headline, you can just copy and paste it. So I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to be making a new section here, and I'm going to paste it. And I can pick my divider and do the same thing. So I'm going to copy it, select my mouse on the headline, like on the element where I want the element to go below, and then I'm going to paste. And you can see I have that. The spacing is off because my widget spacing is 20 on this new section. If I put it to 0, it's fine. Now, what we will put is we'll put a post grid. So you can see we have this posts element. So I'm going to be putting this. And you can see essentially it's already grabbed my posts. So it's nice, but I'll show you how to change that later. But it's not necessarily the skin that I want. Although, if I just want the images, maybe I'm going to do that. I'm going to put image aspect ratio 1, so it takes all my squares. And I tend to just remove everything because I think it looks nice with just the image when you just have the text basically on the image. So I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, and yeah, that's pretty good basically, except I need to change this to our latest dog nutrition guides. Here, notice what I'm doing as well. I'm trying to put keywords on my page as I'm doing it. So I could be writing nutrition guides. You understand it's a dog food site, right? But the reason I say dog nutrition is because this sets the theme for my entire website when I say dog nutrition. And Google, when they crawl the website, the homepage, they will associate us more with dogs when we mention dog food, dog nutrition everywhere. So you can see I put it in my main heading, I put it here, I put it also in my who we are, and here I also mention dogs, so they will be like, okay, that's really a dog site. It's not about nutrition for humans, etc. And it will work a lot better. Now, one thing I did in my original homepage as well is I linked to the nutrition guides from the header. So I'm going to be taking the URL of my nutrition guides, select it, and paste the link here. Pretty simple. And that's pretty much it for the desktop version. Let's actually save it and kind of like preview it. I think it looks quite nice. Maybe I could add some more space at the bottom. The rest is okay. This is a bug from Elementor. In the live version it wouldn't show, but otherwise this is pretty nice. So let me just quickly fix the bottom padding. So I'm gonna select my section here. I'm gonna just add a little bit more spacing on the top and the bottom. And now it's not so close to my header, to my footer, sorry. And what we want to do, obviously, as we do with every page, I know I haven't done it with every page in this module, but it's quite important, is to make sure that there's a nice looking mobile version. So you can see that when I select the mobile version, this is not very nice. And even the image is not very nice. So one thing that I did, by the way, for the image on the mobile version. So if you check the final homepage that I have here, if I inspect it on mobile, you can see the photo is really nice. And the way I did that is I actually made another photo, but I made it an Instagram story, so it's a vertical photo, and I made Elementor pull that photo. So what you can do is you can essentially take the same image that you picked, so you can create an Instagram story, then you go in photos and you see the last ones you use. So for example, this one, and then I could just like replace it like this, and then export it. And then let me show you how you change it actually. So we are here. Let's change the image. So I'm going to select the whole header here. And here you can see that in the image, I have this little mobile thing. So I can put a different image for mobile. So I'm clicking here. And in this case, I think I have made this one. So you can see that this is the vertical version and I have the horizontal version for desktop. So I picked the vertical version and I'm going to pick that media instead. And that photo looks a lot nicer. Now what we need to do obviously is like change the size of fonts, etc. So I'm going to select my main header. I'm going to change the typography. So I'm going to change the size here to be something like this. Here we need more line spacing. So I'm going to pick typography, change my line height. And overall, this is much nicer. And these are okay, actually. I mean, here's the thing. You could put 1 or 2 per column. So you can see I have 5 here. So it's not so simple to put 2 per column. But let's say you wanted to put 2. I'm going to stick to 1. But if you wanted to put 2, you can select the column. And then if you go in layout, you can actually select how much width it uses. So I can say this is 50 and this is 50. I'm just going to do it for the 2 first. I don't like it very much, but you could reduce the padding around if you want. So if you want less padding, see now there's like a bit more space, but they would be very close to each other. So I'm not going to do this. I don't think it's very nice, but you could do that if you want. I just wanted to show you this option. So let me put it back. Oops. I'm going to keep it like this. I like it. The who we are is okay. I could maybe remove the photo on mobile. I think it doesn't make sense. You look at this photo, you're actually like, what the hell? Who is this guy? So I'm going to be removing the photo. So you can see it's a 2-column layout. So to remove the photo, I'm going to select the column with the photo. And I'm going to go in advanced, responsive, and hide on mobile. And now you can see it like hashed, but if I look at the preview, it's gone. So that's perfect. That's simpler. And this pose grid doesn't look very good. So we can fix that as well. So I'm going to select it. And it's the image ratio. The image ratio should be 1, same, so that you can see the entire thing and people can click on this. And because we made a simple homepage, this works pretty well on mobile. People can just essentially click on all these guys, go wherever they want, and that works okay. So make sure you check your pages on mobile and even on tablet. So let's see if there's any issue on tablet. I like how they put it on 2 columns here. This is nice, but it should be more centered. So I'm going to, let me just center this. So I would select the column, then I'm gonna go in layout, vertical align, middle. Now it's a little bit better. These are questionable. I could make a different layout for tablet. Let me show you how we do that. So let's say we have 5, it's not very nice like this. So maybe I want 3 and 2. So I'm gonna take this, the first one, and I'm going to give it 33%. of the space. Same with this one. And same with this one. You can see the walls can be full now. And here, I'm going to try to give them 50 and see what happens. 50, 50, but what I can do is I can add more padding here. So let's see, if I add more padding, maybe like 50 padding or something, a bit more even, 60. Try to eyeball it basically. I think 65 is quite close. So I'm going to do it like this, 65, copy, paste style. So I could do something like this and I would play around, see what it looks like. There's really this box still around. That can work, or you can just make it 5 and not try to be too smart about it. So if you remove the padding completely, or rather if you mimic it, so let me just put it the same as this one. Yeah, I think that's the better way. So you can see I have 5, and then whenever I add another hub, it would look good. But now I made this a 3-column thing that looks nice. This I could make it 2 columns or 3 column really. So here's 2, and you can put 3 if you want. I think 3 is better actually. So I basically now have a tablet version, a desktop version, and a mobile version. They all look good. And now you can just publish it and you have a homepage. So go ahead, build your homepage, and I'll see you in the next lesson.